Speaking of great companies, we have our interviewee, our guest, waiting on the phone. And we are just tickled pink here at Interface this week to introduce you to a really interesting person. He is the director of marketing for JBL's portable PA division of JBL Professional. His name is Richard Ruse. Richard, are you with us?
I am, guys. How are you?
Oh, we're
doing
great.
Out there?
We're great. Richard, tell us a little bit about JBL and, tell us about the scope of what you're involved with and what JBL is involved with.
Yeah, sure. JBL's been around for over 65 years and started by James B. Lansing, the great James B. Lansing. He started in the cinema business, and that's one of the vertical markets we're in. We do quite a bit of business in cinema, and in fact, the likelihood is that 80% of the movie theaters you go into are probably going to have JBL product in it, and it's been a hallmark of JBL from the beginning. But we also do commercial installations, and when I say commercial, I mean ceiling speakers. And, we'd have an inexpensive ceiling speakers, but we also have very expensive ceiling speakers. And to give you an idea, if you've been to Las Vegas lately and gone into City Center.
Oh, yeah, that's a beautiful place.
What's that?
I said, yeah, the City Center, that's beautiful. I mean, I took a tour of just the foyer itself is just astonishing. So if you've never been able to go down there, you, the viewer, get a chance to go down to City Center. If you're, it's right next to downtown where New York is, really close to there, and across from the MGM Grand. So go over there and check that out. If you get a chance, it's beautiful. Plus, you can see the Elvis show.
They installed, I want to say 6,000 Yell speakers all throughout the whole complex, and they utilize some of our tour sound stuff too. About 50% of the tours that are out there on the road use JBL Vertec. It's hanging in Royal Albert Hall. It's when they did the inauguration, I think at the time it was considered to be the world's largest PA system. It stretched over the entire mall in Washington. I forget exactly how many speaker cabinets were used, but it was unbelievable. So, we do tour sound. We also have a huge heritage in recording and broadcast, something I know it's special to you guys.
Yes.
For studio monitors for both recording studios and broadcast studios. And then we do portable PA, which is what I do. That's my vertical market, we call it. And basically, portable PA is anything that'll go on a pole. If it fits on a stick, that's portable. And in the portable PA world for JBL, we have both passive speakers and powered speakers.
Absolutely. So I've been a big fan of JBL for a long time, and I've been using the M Pro 215s for about 10 years. And I got to tell you, these guys are workhorses. And so it just is a testament to what you guys are doing over there.
Well, I'll tell you, I started out in this industry as a musician, and back in the 70s, I put, a couple of the original D130s in a speaker cabinet, was amazed at the way I sounded. Well, it's interesting. The D130, even today, when we put it on through the paces and spec it out, it's still one of the most efficient 15-inch speakers made. Mm. And that's even with all of the new technology that's out there. It's just when I'll share this with you. When I started working here, I was amazed at how much actual science goes on at JBL. The engineering department's populated by several PhDs. The company and its engineers hold several patents. I mean, not several, many patents in loudspeaker design. We have full featured labs with the most expensive test equipment in it. We have huge arenas with speaker up in the air, and we'll test the on and off axis performance of a speaker cabinet. And what's been in place. Well, and I'll share this with you. We actually had coil winding machines here that were built specifically to wind a voice coil with flat wire that we made, because that flat wire could handle heat better than the traditional copper wire. We even have a torture chamber here. We put speakers in, and I know that in a pre-interview, you guys were very interested in this. A lot of people ask about the 100-hour torture test.
Yes.
And what it is it's full bandwidth pink noise put through. If it's a powered speaker, it's turned up all the way. If it's a passive speaker, it's put through at its maximum limit, and the speaker has to make it through 100 hours of pink noise.
That's amazing.
If you know anything about pink noise, you know it's brutal on a speaker, and 100 hours of it is determined to sort of simulate the life cycle of a product. It's why those what do you have, MP510s?
I've got the Impro 215s.
Oh, 215s, right. That's why you've had them for so long.
Yeah, I mean, these things are workhorses. And you know what I found amazing about just about the Impro 215s, and I see a lot of guys in mobile rig setups, and they're dragging in bass cabs and whatnot. And I've got to tell you, these Impro 215s that I've had, one, they've been working their butts off for the last 10 years, and they do very well at what they do, but they've got such a great low-end range on these things that you almost don't need a bass cab. It's almost a disservice to the 215s if I were to bring a bass cab in. I know it would add a complement to it, but it's almost a disservice. These 215s are so clean. And in fact, down at Six Flags Marine World in Vallejo, California, they actually use in their welcoming center as you're coming into the park, they actually use the JBL Eons out there. So it's just an attestament to the professionalism of the brand and also to the quality of the product.
Well, one thing I didn't talk about was some of the installations that we've done, and you bring up SeaWorld, and they're using portable speakers there. But just last year we did the new Meadowlands, and we did Yankee Stadium. The new Meadowlands, the speakers have to be exposed to all of the elements of the weather, rain, sleet, snow, just like a mailman. And there's 1,600 speakers in that facility. They're fiberglass, they're weather resistant, as we call them. Weatherproof, actually. Those speakers wouldn't make it into that stadium if they didn't, exhibit this kind of durability. I think we've got about 4 or 5 NFL stadiums, a bunch of basketball arenas, hockey. We just did the Twins stadium. We did the Shanghai Expo.
Oh, really? Nice.
And we did the last both Olympics, and we'll be doing the Olympics in England.
Well, what is it? Tell us a little bit about exactly what you do at JBL.
Well, sure. As a market director, I'm primarily responsible for product development, and essentially what that means is, I have to be the voice of the customer to the company. The company has to, we have to develop things in the real world, not in a vacuum. We're not making things just because we can. Great products solve a problem, and it's up to the market directors to understand the problems. Guys, face out there when they have audio issues, and to solve products that address those problems. And so, we conceive of the product, and we create the business plan around the product to make sure that it's feasible, almost like doing a feasibility study for the product. We have to understand the competitive landscape. We have to understand the channel of distribution and how we're going to sell and market the product. And then once there's a meeting of the minds here, we go into actual product development with the engineering staff. And that starts with, in the case of a speaker cabinet, it starts with selecting drivers, and they'll do freestanding tests, where the driver's not